The night was alive in Philadelphia. The lights dimmed, and the roar of the crowd swelled like a storm waiting to break. This wasn't just another main event. It was unfinished business. A rematch between Jaron Ennis, the unbeaten phenom from Philly, and Karen Chukhadzhian, the Ukrainian technician who once turned Ennis's dominance into a puzzle of frustration. Their first encounter left a stain on Ennis's pride, a fight where Karen's movement and discipline turned the aggressive American into a chaser, not a conqueror. But this time, it was personal. Ennis entered the ring draped in his city's colors, eyes cold, jaw tight, fists already twitching with anticipation. Across from him stood Chukhadzhian, calm, focused, built from the hardship of a country at war, and a fighter with nothing to lose. The crowd buzzed, chanting, "Boots! Boots!" as the referee gave his final instructions. Gloves touched. No smiles, no respect, just steel in their eyes. The bell rang, and the atmosphere snapped from tension to eruption. Ennis stuffed forward, switching stances effortlessly, loading his jab like a weapon. Chukhadzhian circled, firing back sharp counters, determined not to be bullied. The first round was a test of patience, precision, and pride. This wasn't just a fight for a belt. It was for redemption, for validation, and for the right to call oneself elite. From the opening rounds, it was clear this wasn't the same cautious Chukhadzhian from their first meeting. He came forward early, bouncing on his feet, snapping his jab, and throwing looping rights that forced Ennis to respect him. Boots adjusted quickly, switching from orthodox to southpaw, looking for angles, looking for an opening to unleash. The sound of gloves cracking echoed through the arena. Each exchange a conversation of violence and intellect. Ennis jabbed to the body, feinted high, and released a slick left uppercut that grazed the chin. Chukhadzhian smiled, a dangerous grin, then answered with a short right hook that landed flush. The crowd gasped, not used to seeing Ennis get caught clean. The Ukrainian was fighting like a man with nothing to fear. His movement was sharper, his confidence higher, his rhythm unpredictable. But Ennis began timing him, that half-second rhythm between bounce and pivot, and with every round, Boots started closing the distance. In round 3, Ennis unleashed a blistering combination: jab, right cross, left hook to the ribs, followed by a short right uppercut. Chukhadzhian stumbled back, covering up. The crowd roared as the hometown hero pressed forward, stalking with measured fury. But Karen refused to fade. His jab disrupted rhythm. His footwork created angles that forced Ennis to reset. The chess match had become a gunfight. Sweat flew under the lights as each man landed leather. Through 4 rounds, it was even, the perfect blend of fire and control, heart and precision. By the midpoint, the energy inside the arena was electric. Ennis's corner demanded more. Walk him down, make him fight, and their fighter responded. Round 5 opened with Ennis tearing into Chukhadzhian's body, his gloves digging into ribs like hammers. The Ukrainian winced, but didn't retreat. Instead, he countered with sharp right hands that split through the guard. For a moment, it looked like the first fight all over again. Boots chasing, Chukhadzhian escaping, surviving. But then came the shift. Ennis slowed the pace, stopped lunging, and began cutting the ring with purpose. His eyes locked on his target, his timing recalibrated. He feinted low, rolled under a jab, and unleashed a thunderous right hand straight down the middle. The shot landed flush, snapping Chukhadzhian's head back and sending a ripple through the crowd. "Boots!" they screamed. The Ukrainian stumbled, knees buckling, but somehow stayed upright. Ennis smelled blood, unleashing a storm of hooks and uppercuts that had the challenger covering up along the ropes. The referee watched closely, but Chukhadzhian refused to go down. His resilience was defiant, his will unbroken. Round 7 became brutal, both fighters standing in the pocket, trading bombs. Ennis landed a vicious left to the body, followed by a crushing uppercut that finally dropped the Ukrainian to a knee. The crowd exploded as the referee counted 5, 6, 7, and he rose, eyes clear, refusing to surrender. The bell saved him, but the message was clear. Ennis was in control now. The tide had turned, and the champion was showing why his name echoed across the welterweight division. The championship rounds arrived, and both men were running on heart. Chukhadzhian, though bruised and bloodied, still came forward, jabbing, punching in rhythm, trying to frustrate Ennis again. But Boots had entered a different gear. He moved with calculated confidence, jabbing to blind, uppercutting to punish. Round 10 saw him nearly end it again. A clean right uppercut wobbled Chukhadzhian, followed by a left hook that sent him stumbling into the ropes. Yet somehow, the Ukrainian's pride kept him standing. The final rounds became less about dominance and more about defiance. Ennis, dripping sweat and determination, continued to press, but even he couldn't break the iron heart of his opponent. In the 12th and final round, both men stood center ring, trading shot for shot, exhaustion forgotten, respect earned. The bell rang to end a war of skill, heart, and survival.